Well, welcome back. I know I said I wasn't gonna get political on this channel, but I gotta get slightly political this episode because apparently nobody wants to do anything else that I can talk about, and the only thing that can be talked about right now in sports or something that I can cover is Antonio Brown and Kevin Porter Jr. Those are the two big things that happened yesterday. That's all I can really cover. Both of them are slightly political slash I don't really care about them, but because everybody wants to keep talking about it, I'll just give my quick opinion on it, and hopefully you don't hate me for this. But let's start with Antonio Brown. So a couple of days ago, the Buccaneers were playing the Jets, and into the third quarter, I believe, Antonio Brown got mad at the team, at Coach Bruce Arians, at just everybody, and he took off all his stuff. He threw some into the Jets fan section, and he ran off the field or whatever. And he had a very disgraceful exit, but he thought it was graceful. I don't know what's going on with him, but it kind of signals the end of his career right now. There's nothing else he could really do to come back from that because nobody wants to work with somebody who cannot get along with his team. Nobody wants to hire that person. Doesn't matter how good you are. If you're difficult, that's a headache that nobody wants to cover. But besides all that, today there have been some leaked messages that Antonio Brown's been sharing about Bruce Arians and about the trainer and stuff, which I don't understand why he's leaking these people's messages because nobody's gonna really care. I read the messages and they don't mean anything. It's just a regular conversation you would have with anybody else. So I was like, why are these messages even getting leaked? It's just you talking to your coach and it's just you talking to your trainer. So if anything, it makes you look even worse because those messages are literally just them trying to help Antonio Brown come back after he lied about the vaccination cards. So he was already in the hot seat and they forgave him. Somebody tell me what I'm missing that would make me want to defend Antonio Brown. But apparently, a lot of people all over Twitter are just defending him for some reason, which I don't understand, and I'm not going to get into that because it doesn't matter, and they're just doing it probably just to do it, just to be the other side, the devil's advocate or whatever, and I'll let them do that. But I don't understand why people are really talking about Antonio Brown like this. It doesn't mean nothing. His career is practically over. He exposed the messages. That team rejuvenized his career, and he stabbed him in the back when they tried to help him. So there's nothing more I can say about Antonio Brown. He is hurting my Bucks, and we don't need him no more. So you do what you got to do. Now on to this second story, because this second story seems to be very, very interesting and very polarizing. People are on both sides of the spectrum, kind of like Republican and Democrats. This is there was a game yesterday between the Wizards and the Rockets, and there's a player named Kevin Porter Jr. He made the game-winning three or whatever, right? And apparently the Wizards announcer said he pulled that trigger like his dad, and Kevin Porter Jr.'s dad was charged with some murder, homicide, whatever, of a 14-year-old girl back in 1990 something. So I was like, wow, that's really messed up for the announcer to bring something like that up. And I quickly formed a negative opinion about this announcer. I was like, oh yeah, he should be fired. I even see people like LeBron James tweeting that this dude he should not be in the NBA under their employment or nothing, because that is a terrible take. And I 100% agree with him that was a terrible take to make about Kevin Porter Jr. and his father, who actually has died he got shot. And he was in that case about shooting somebody and talking about pulling the trigger and stuff. I was like, wow, that's really messed up. And then I did some further investigation into this, all right? And apparently Kevin Porter Sr. was also an NBA player, not Kevin Porter Jr.'s dad, but he was his own, he was a different person. So the announcer thought that Kevin Porter Sr. and Kevin Porter Jr. were related to each other, but those are two different people, two different families. And I understand that mishap, because maybe he just didn't know that much about Kevin Porter Jr. He is a Wizards announcer, not a Rockets announcer, so he probably doesn't know much about Kevin Porter Jr.'s story. And when I heard that, and I started sympathizing a little bit with the man, I was like, that makes sense, because I didn't know about Kevin Porter Jr.'s dad, and Kevin Porter Sr., the other NBA player, he was a pretty good player, and he would do stuff like that. So I understood why the announcer would say that. But people are just destroying this man. Talking about, you should not say that. You should be fired. You should not be talking about pulling the trigger and this, that, and all the other. And I was like, yes, he shouldn't say that, but he didn't know at the same time. So you can't really fault him 100%. You can fault him a little bit for saying pull the trigger. You shouldn't have said pull the trigger. But I see why he was talking about like his dad and stuff. And that's okay in my eyes that he made a mistake. Everybody makes mistakes. And he's been an announcer for a long time and has not had a controversy. So for somebody to have a mistake like this long into their career, it was 100% an accident. He even apologized to Kevin Porter Jr. about the mishap, and people still are just being one-sided to their ways. Now, based on me forming my opinion really quick and then quickly switching it again, I no longer have an opinion on this because I don't know what the announcer's true motives were for what he said. So I don't want to form another opinion that could just be swayed so quickly. So I want to see, the only person who knows how they really felt was the announcer. So I want to see how this unfolds within the next couple of days. If he gets fired, if the NBA lets him keep his job because they know it was an accident, or if not. But people like LeBron, kind of disappointed in LeBron, honestly. I didn't think he would make his opinion like that and just attack the announcer like that when he knows. Because I know LeBron knows the other side. There's two sides to the story, and he knows that it could have been the other side easily. And I'm a little disappointed that he just jumped all over that man. Because you got to remember, these people have lives. You know, and it's tough times. And just to attack him like that, I don't agree with it. Because somebody of his power and his influence can literally ruin somebody else's life like that. So I think we should give this man another chance. And see, and honestly, just give him another chance. There ain't nothing else I can say, but decides to give him another chance. But that's been this Wednesday's video. I'm sorry. This Thursday's video is a little bit longer for you guys. I hope you guys enjoyed the longer size video. And I hope you guys have a great Thursday. I will see you guys tomorrow on Friday. And hopefully we can have a more lighthearted, fun video. Thank you. Peace!